Let's kick off now. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's James Smith. I'm with the MJ. I'm your host today for our showcase webinar. Today, we're looking at the Best Candidate Experience Award. This is part of the PPMA Excellence in People Management Awards 2024. These webinars are really great opportunities for the attendees to learn a little bit more about the individual entrants and ask questions directly to the organisations involved. Today, we've got a session focused on the London Borough of Sutton and Stockport Council and their entries to the Best Candidate Experience Award from the 2024 awards. We're going to have Dawn from Sutton up first, talking a little bit about improving recruitment and retention. And then we're going to have Jenny, Laura and Andrea from Stockport talking about creating a stellar candidate experience. If you have any questions throughout the course of either presentation, feel free to write them in the chat box. And then there's myself and the PPMA team who sort of highlight those and answer them if we get a chance at the end. It's great to be part of this PPMA. You know, we've worked with, at the MJ, worked with them for a number of years. It's a really great community and it's really good to be part of this. So I'm going to hand over to Dawn without any further ado. Dawn from Sutton Council, over to you.
Thanks, James. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name's Dawn Matthews. I'm the head of HR, Shared and Traded Services and resourcing as part of my remit at Sutton. So I'm really pleased to be here today to talk to you about Sutton's approach to recruitment and retention with a focus on how we improve the candidate experience and ended up winning the PPMA award earlier this year in that category. In September 2022, we started a project to improve recruitment and retention at Sutton. Our aim was to recruit high caliber staff first time, and that included hard to fill roles. We wanted to improve retention, and reduce agency worker usage and associated spend. So it was kind of all encompassing. We also wanted to enhance our inclusive approach to recruitment and support staff with maintaining a long-term fulfilling career with Sutton. So we started the project focusing on adult social care, which is one of our areas where it's hard to recruit. And we know that's a national issue. So we took a targeted approach across the entire employee life cycle. It was important that HR didn't shape this project sort of in isolation. We wanted to make sure that there was engagement with a range of stakeholders across the council, resulting in a collective approach to ensure that the candidate experience was matched by the employee experience. So we held workshops with hiring managers, staff networks, trade unions, recent recruits, and our HR and OD colleagues, which helped us to gather information about our recruitment process from a wide range of perspectives. And then we used that to define our approach and project deliverables. We kind of had a series of work streams as part of this project. So each of those work streams had a dedicated lead, which helped to ensure that delivery was kind of focused and targeted. It was overseen by a project board, which was sponsored by our Assistant Director of HR and OD, with regular highlight reports to our corporate management team, members and trade unions. So there was a lot of scrutiny in terms of what we were doing as an organisation in this space. So we started with our evidence base. So as well as the stakeholders workshops that we had, we reviewed our workforce establishment and agency worker data to help analyse our vacancy rates and recruitment data over a 12-month period. This included looking at attrition rates, the protected characteristics of candidates at each stage of the recruitment process, and reviewing turnover data and intel from exit surveys. Having this evidence base enabled us to devise a meaningful and targeted recruitment and retention strategy at Sutton. The other work stream was attraction and retention. So as part of our attraction strategy, we created the strapline Grow at Sutton. We wanted applicants to know that working at Sutton is more than just joining the council to fill a vacant post. We provide an environment where staff can grow their careers at Sutton, which aids retention across the council. In adult social care specifically, we surveyed staff to understand what makes Sutton Council special to them and use some of this intel in our recruitment materials to support attraction. We worked with hiring managers to ensure that candidates could be interviewed within 48 hours of applying for a role, and that helped to eliminate candidate drift. We reviewed our pre-employment check and onboarding process as well, and developed a tailored induction so that new appointments felt welcome from the outset. In terms of our recruitment work stream, we revised the language, images and videos used in recruitment. We also invited our reverse mentors to be part of our interview panels to increase diversity of thought in the decision-making process and provide development opportunities for those individuals. Our recruitment guidance to managers was enhanced and complemented with weekly drop-in sessions to support different learning styles and improve consistency of approach during the recruitment process. The composition of our diverse interview panels, so we expanded that. So when we first started it as a pilot a couple of years ago, we focused solely on gender and ethnicity, and we expanded our diverse interview panels to include age, disability and sexuality. And we also continued with our anonymous recruitment, which helped to minimise bias and embrace our commitment to appointing on merit. As part of our recruitment process as well, especially for senior roles, we involve our service users. So when we recruited to our Director of Children's Services and our Assistant Director of Children's, we had care experienced young people as part of the stakeholder panels. Equally, for our Assistant Director in Adults, we had service users with mental health and learning disabilities taking part in the stakeholder panels. And the feedback from those individuals was really positive. They really welcomed the opportunity to take part and have their voice heard as part of the process. Another one of our work streams was looking at our HR new starter and service induction. So we enhanced our onboarding approach to improve candidate engagement at the pre-employment stage. So that included a tailored induction handbook for new starters at head of service level and above, which helped to ensure consistency of approach and share Sutton's culture and values right from the outset. We also had inductions with our chief executive, which are really engaging and personal and helps to foster a stronger sense of belonging from day one. Staff also benefit from our Work Well hybrid programme, where the number of days they are in the office is shaped by the needs of the service. So this allows staff the flexibility to learn from and engage with their teams, but to incorporate the flexibility in their work location to help them thrive. In terms of our employee offer, we kind of looked at that as well. So, you know, a lot of us as kind of local authorities, we don't always sort of shout about the benefits of working in local government. You know, we have generous pensions, sort of generous annual leave, relatively stable job security and, you know, flexible working arrangements. So we kind of thought about what makes Sutton special. And we used our staff survey as sort of like, you know, using some of the intel from that to kind of shape the highlights of our employee offer and the fact that, you know, there's a genuine opportunity to make a difference. We have active staff networks which really embrace diversity and inclusion, and they've helped to shape some really valuable initiatives at Sutton. And also there's an opportunity working at Sutton to be part of career defining opportunities through regeneration that's happening in the borough, such as our Institute of Cancer Research and the new Civic Centre. So Sutton also offers an inclusive, welcoming environment, and our trainees on the National Graduate Development Programme, they often reflect that they've had some really exciting opportunities to develop their potential, and they're recognised for the work that they do. and they've kind of shared anecdotally that that's not the experience of some of their other NGDP peers. So, you know, that kind of highlights as well Sutton being a really nice place to work. As part of this project, we also looked at the development strand. So a key part was focusing on sort of our candidates, and we wanted to make sure that their experience through recruitment and onboarding kind of continued seamlessly into their working time at Sutton. So we've developed an Aspiring Leaders and an Aspiring Managers programme to support multi-ethnic and female staff in particular, which has active support and inputs from our corporate management team and our members. Inclusion is at the heart of our culture and council plan, and our revised mandatory training includes things like unconscious bias, transgender awareness and EDI, and reverse mentoring, staff networks, professional qualifications, apprenticeships, work experience, and our graduate scheme all give our staff the opportunity to develop individually. These initiatives also help staff to support colleagues' development and learn from each other. A quarter of the workforce attended the launch of us becoming a member of the Sunflower Hidden Disability Scheme, which has been introduced to support colleagues who are neurodiverse. And this has added to our inclusive culture and all staff feeling a sense of belonging. So the last strand of our kind of recruitment and retention project was around communications and our website. So communications has actually underpinned every element of this programme, from the look, feel and accessibility of our marketing material to the modernised look and feel of our website. So we worked with hiring managers to create meaningful content, videos and images. We updated our onboarding information, corporate and local inductions, and we continue to have live streams with our chief executive and leader and weekly e-news bulletins alongside our digital channels and engagement with managers. So if I just quickly turn to the kind of impact that this project has had, and I guess what helped us to win this award, you know, there's been sort of a tangible impact in Sutton through this work. The number of appointees from a multi-ethnic background increased from 39 to 54% within a 12-month period. And that's above our workforce profile of 30% multi-ethnic staff. And it supports us in matching our 2021 census borough profile of 43% multi-ethnic. We made 40 appointments in adult social care, which is about 17% of the SC workforce, and that was within a 6-month period, 18 of which were agency workers who moved over onto a permanent contract with Sutton. The recruitment included roles which can be most challenging to fill, so things like team managers, social workers, occupational therapists. This kind of move as well with the agency workers, it contributed to a monthly reduction in agency worker spend of around 97,000, and it improved the stability for our service users in this critical area. There's been a 5% reduction in agency workers over the same period, which is measured each quarter as part of our kind of organisational health, and it continues in a downward trajectory. Our onboarding and support for new starters has increased attendance at in-person induction with our chief executive, and it's also accelerated staff feeling part of a team. So this has had a direct impact, which was evident in our staff survey last October, which showed, and I'm just going to read a few stats, 85% of our workforce understand how their work contributes to the council's priorities, so they feel connected. 83% say their manager supports them when things are difficult personally or professionally. 85% say that they are treated fairly at work by managers and colleagues. And 83% recognise that Sutton Council is committed to being a diverse and inclusive workplace. So just to wrap up, you know, we welcome new starters and we support them in their new role, and we model an approach which allows them to be their authentic selves at work. Our turnover continues to decrease and stands at 11%, and we've seen a steady increase in the number of applications and appointees from a multi-ethnic background. Agency worker usage and associated spend is steadily decreasing each month. We've successfully recruited to 40 hard-to-fill roles in adult social care, as I said earlier, and we've enhanced our onboarding and induction process, resulting in individuals feeling a real sense of belonging before they actually commence in post, and ensuring that the candidate experience is matched by their experience as an employee. So Sutton, as with most councils, is facing financial challenges, which means that we are managing the volume of recruitment and taking care around what we spend on promoting ourselves. And this approach allows us to harness our staff as advocates, reduce agency worker spend and recruit and support those who are working with the most vulnerable in our communities. So that is a whistle-stop tour of how we kind of got here, and I hope you found it helpful. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Dawn. Sorry, I had myself on mute there. Really appreciate that overview from you. What we're going to do with questions, I'm going to run into the second presentation now. So if you've got questions, please type them in the chat and we'll try and address them all at the end. If when typing them, you can sort of reference Sutton or Stockport, that would really help. So thank you very much, Dawn. Without further ado, we're going to go up to Stockport now with Jenny, Laura and Andrea, and they're looking at creating a stellar candidate experience. We've got some PowerPoints and we've got some videos of this one, so I shall shut up and hand you over to these guys.
Hello there, everybody. So we've got three of us here today from Stockport. We have Jenny Neal, who is our head of HR and OD. I'm Andrea Stewart. I'm Senior Service Manager for HR. And in the room with me at Stockport is Laura Duffin, who's one of our recruitment team. So let's start off by giving a little bit of context. That Stockport Council, we employ about 3,000 employees, which doesn't include schools. And like all councils and a lot of the public sector, we've got a huge variety of roles, which is also part of our challenge in recruitment. We have so many roles that people have never heard of, and that people just don't know exist, and that's part of what we need to do in getting our name out there as a good employer, is trying to make people more aware of those job roles. And so over the last couple of years, we have invested in our recruitment team. And so we've now got 7 people in the team, including our recruitment manager, Janine Amons, who unfortunately can't join us today. So the team are responsible for all aspects of the recruitment and offer process. And in investing in the team, we've actively moved away from what used to be a more admin focused service, where we used to just process job adverts that came into us, put them out there, and then an admin process around the job offer. So now we're much more proactive. We're trying to enable recruitment managers to fill the roles with the best possible candidates. And we do that by encouraging managers to have conversations with us from the outset. And what we want to do is co-create solutions with those managers to the challenges that they're experiencing. Really important in that has been, in getting those proactive solutions, has been through the use of social media. We started off by investing in training for the team on using the social media, and we will go into a bit more detail on our use of social media, and we're focusing time on the job roles that need it most. Interesting to hear what Sutton was saying. We've got the same areas, so we're focused on adult social care, and all social care roles has been part of our experience of recruitment over the last couple of years. Excuse me. We've really, the use of social media means that the team have been able to show their creative side, that there's a lot more focus on the creativity of how we use social media. And I think it's also made the job roles for the recruitment team more interesting as well, which is an added bonus. So on the next slide, showing that one of the things that we've tried to focus on is that no one ever forgets a good first impression. And what we've meant by that is that the first interaction with us as a candidate isn't the only opportunity for first impression. So when the candidate sees the job advert, when they apply for the job, when we invite candidates to interview, when we offer people a job, each of those stages we're viewing it as though that's the first impression, and we want to make a good first impression. So we try to make sure our adverts are good. We've got they're informative, they're straightforward language. We've got links to useful information, and we make use of videos in that that people can link to. And the application process we make appropriate to the job role. So although we have a standardised approach, we can adapt that so that it's most appropriate, especially for hard to fill roles where we think that a standard approach is a blocker to getting candidates. We can be very adaptable around that. Really importantly, at each of these different stages, we try to have a warm and friendly approach in all of our interactions, whether it's in person, whether it's in writing, and all the information we send out at these various stages has a friendly tone to it. We're going to be talking about our video a little bit further on in this, but we also, as well as using a video as a useful tool in obtaining candidates, we also use it to keep candidates warm, in particular between the offer stage and starting, where obviously when people are working their notice periods, that can feel quite lengthy to people, and so we use that as a sort of keeping in touch, keeping warm approach, and that's got directors from each of the service areas are focused on the most appropriate video to send to the person. And then finally, induction is our final stage of the recruitment process. It's individualised and appropriate for each person's role, and it's not just a one-off on the day they start, which Jenny will also say a little bit about. And we'll move on to Jenny now.
Thanks, Andrea. So just in terms of our approach to recruitment, we developed a one team people plan sort of during the pandemic. Actually, we were doing a lot of engagement with colleagues to understand what was working for them, what we needed to know more about, how they were feeling, how the ways of working were impacting them. So we co-created a one team people plan, which is our workforce strategy, and that has 5 pillars that really guides our thinking about our every stage of the employee journey. And Join Us is our focus on the candidate experience, on coming to be part of our one team Stockport. And has a whole range of actions underneath that of things that we've been focusing about, which led to us being highly commended by the PPMA earlier this year, which we were really, really proud of. I think the team were ecstatic to receive that accolade and to be rewarded for all the work that they've done, because we were working in really challenging circumstances. I'm sure you all recognise the complexities of the different roles that we were trying to fill, the competition that was out there, lots of changes happening in the way that we do work, which meant that, really trying to retain staff when there were lots of different opportunities to go different places where people might not have even thought about. Actually, the pandemic really shifted the way that we work. So Andrew's mentioned some of the things that we've done already, but we really focused on our website and our appearance so that people could find out more about who we are as an employer, the benefits of working for a council. We've been really passionate about really building our brand. You'll see some of that on the screen and in the background, but having that connect through all of the work that we do so you can really see us as one team and get to know a little bit more about us. Some of our colleagues have spoken about the jobs that they do, why they love working in Stockport, so we can try and bring to life the stories of those roles. As somebody that doesn't work in local government, I think it's really hard to comprehend the range of roles that there are and the range of opportunities. So really trying to showcase that and try to encourage people to come and work with us, and bringing that back to our values. So we're really trying to evidence who we are as an organisation and what your experience would be if you came to work with us. Social media has been really key. building our brand and our story, using our social media accounts to promote our roles. So every day I'll see a different role that's out there and it'll tell me a little bit more about the role that's being advertised. The team have been fantastic in terms of forward planning that, supporting recruiting managers who have got specific areas that are hard to fill. So we've just heard from Sutton around some of the challenges that they were dealing with, and absolutely we were experiencing very similar ones. So working in a really creative way, talking to those recruiting managers around what would be helpful, how can we really promote some of the things that they're trying to recruit to, how can we tell people about their benefits, why it's great to come and work with us, and fundamentally try and focus on that really expensive agency spend and convert that into permanent contracts. So having those conversations with our agency workers to say, come and stay with us, come and get a council contract. These are the benefits of doing that. So just trying to think really creatively. And I think doing whatever we can really to deal with those complex issues. We've held jobs fairs, trying to be really visible. We've got a beautiful ballroom in our town hall, and have used that as an opportunity to open up some of our jobs, come and meet our recruiting managers. I think for people who are far from the labour market, it's really difficult to cross that threshold when they're looking for work. But if you actually meet the people that are sat behind these processes, it makes it so much easier, and you can really have those conversations with people about the opportunities, and make them aware that actually it isn't, there's a range of ways to get to work with us, different opportunities, work experience, coming in through different levels. We've really focused on our inclusive approach to recruitment and made an absolute commitment to improve employees for people with disabilities, our care experience young people, as corporate parents, really trying to think about what we can do strategically across the organisation to make more opportunities available. Thinking about our carers, ex-military personnel, we've just recently had the Gold Award for the Armed Forces Covenant. I'm an ex-forces wife, so I'm really, really proud that we've actually achieved that accolade. And thinking about the barriers that people have to employment, recruit for attitude, train for skill, bring people in that align with our values and open up a range of opportunities. Looking at those barriers, so tailoring the roles and the individual, so it isn't just a big application process, it can be CV or it's what's needed, and just encouraging our recruiting managers to have those conversations with us about what we can do about being creative. Really importantly, reducing time to hire. We're time limited, aren't we? The market's out there, people have got multiple opportunities, it's a candidate's market still, so making sure that we've got shortlisting interview dates as part of that process so that candidates know what they can expect and we don't get that drift in the system. And also really thinking from a strategic workforce planning perspective, what our profile is like. We do know that we've got an ageing workforce profile and we have like less than 3% between the ages of 16 and 24. So how are we working within our borough, in our locality, with our schools and colleges, ultimately to change the perception of local government as an employer? I know when I was a younger person, I didn't really think I'm going to join local government when I grew up. I didn't even know what local government did and what opportunities that were there. Benefits, we've really tried to promote that. We may not be able to compete on pay with the private sector, but we certainly have a whole range of opportunities that people could experience if they come to work for us. Our flexible working, our pension scheme, annual leave, but also the opportunities around growing and thriving with us, the training opportunities through our apprenticeship levy, just really trying to make us an accessible and inclusive employer. And just going to share with you some stories from our team Stockport actually. So I'm just going to drop this screen and really hope that the tech is going to support me and let me share this video of Team Stockport with you. So if you just bear with me 1 minute. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick this up. We practiced before and it worked seamlessly and it doesn't seem to be giving me the same theme, so just bear with me.
Perils of live telly.
I know, just sorry, I'll be right with you.
Oh, here we go.
Is it showing?
It's showing.
Brilliant. I'll full screen it and let's hope we get sound as well. James, will you let me know if we do?
Right.
I can't remember what I said.
What was it again?
Welcome.
heart of the community because of the relationships that we form with our clients.
It's a bit of a dream job, to be honest. Looking after sites such as this one at Borough, it's just great to do.
I've always felt it's been quite a supportive local authority. I've had some brilliant managers, worked with some brilliant colleagues. It's a great authority to work for.
Been with the council now for 7 weeks. Everyone's been so friendly. Everything was there ready for me on day one. I've had loads of different inductions, so it's all been great. Being able to get involved in different courses, progress, develop. There's opportunities for getting involved with apprenticeships and extra learning.
My team is absolutely amazing. They're the most supportive team you'll ever meet. Different experiences, which is amazing because you never feel alone.
I love working at Stockport because it's a really connected team and it feels like we're all in it together to do the right thing for local people.
We all sort of like lean on each other. We're all really supportive. We know how to communicate with each other. It's really sort of that element of teamwork.
I've always felt really included. It's somewhere where you can be open about any issues, problems, struggles you have. It's really great to be with part of a place that really looks and sees you for you and not what you can and can't do.
I think we've got one of the best wellbeing offers in local government. We're real trailblazers for it. Colleagues and staff and our partners really are our best assets, so we want to look after them.
Welcome to Stockport Council. So if you haven't heard the news yet, Stockport is definitely the place to be. It's a place on the up, with articles recently in the Times and in the Guardian that actually said Stockport is the new Berlin, or recently in the Telegraph saying some of our towns in Bramall and Cheadle-Hulme are some of the best places to live in the UK. We're really ambitious for our regeneration programmes, investing in culture and heritage, as well as bringing more jobs and homes into our urban centres. So I love working for Stockport Council. It's a real privilege every day to lead such a fabulous organisation and work in such a great place. Putting Stockport first, its people, our place, is really at the heart of our values in the council.
Our values are core to what we do in Stockport. We always think about the people and the borough in everything we do. From our ambitious regeneration programme, we're truly changing the lives of people in Stockport.
We are people first before professionals, so we always aim to be respectful, just remembering that we're humans and we've got to be empathetic.
We value inclusivity and diversity, and we make it a part of everything that we do.
We're ambitious. I think we like to try new ideas and look at whether we can improve it.
For me, Stockport is a small town with a big personality and an even bigger heart. It's got a really strong sense of culture and community. Whenever there's civic events, everybody turns out and it's amazing to feel the atmosphere.
There's a lot to do and it's really pretty as well. There's lots of nice bars, lots of nice restaurants, that's your kind of thing. Theatre, cinema.
I've lived in Stockport all my life. I absolutely love the place. There's real friendships, there's families that go back generations and generations that stayed in Stockport. It's just a great place to be.
We can't wait for you to join the team and we're really looking forward to giving you a warm Stockport welcome.
Come here, be yourself, be bold and be brave with your ideas.
It's great fun. You've got a great team to work with and you can learn a lot as well as you go.
It's okay me saying that, but come along and test it out for yourself, see?
I never envisaged myself being in this role. From starting with Stockport Council, I've been absolutely encouraged to go for opportunities like this.
Ambitious Stockport, a place that everyone's proud to call home.
Welcome to Stockport.
Welcome to Stockport.
Welcome to Stockport. It's more than you think.
So hopefully gave that.
Now, basically, we've devoted at least 2 decades of our life to being in control.
Classic there it goes on. I think, have you managed to silence the next autoplay, Jenny? We'll just hold for a couple of minutes while that all goes through.
Okay, sorry, I've just managed to drop that down.
Thank you very much for that.
I thought very quickly. Hope that gave you a bit of a flavour of our team, why we've worked really hard on our recruitment approach and who we are as an employer. And Dawn, you gave some really impressive stats. It was fantastic hearing those impacts, and we've had some very similar impacts in Stockport. Our survey told us that 95% of our workforce know about the impact that their work makes on residents, which gives them their why they come to work for us every day and what difference that they make in their communities. We've had some really good success with our children's and adult social workers and support workers, especially in adults. We've fulfilled all the vacancies there in our support worker team, which is for the first time in 2 years. We're similarly converting into agency staff into permanent staff, and really making a massive difference for being a more inclusive organisation. So thank you from Stockport.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jenny. I think the video came through pretty much clear. I think the subtitles, there was a little bit that wasn't. It's a YouTube video though, so I'm sure you guys could look it up or maybe drop it in the chat if anyone wants to sort of view that. We've got one question at the moment come in. We've got 5 minutes, so I'll take that one. I think this is towards you, Dawn, at Sutton, from what was mentioned in your presentation. So the question is, how did you manage to convert agency workers into perm? How did those conversations go? What were the selling points the agency workers went for that they have converted?
Thanks, James. And thanks for the question. You know, it was through kind of conversations around, you know, the benefits again of working at Sutton. Some of those agency workers had been here for quite a while. And I think sometimes there's a perception that as an agency worker, you can earn a lot more money. And whilst it might seem like that in the immediate, when we kind of packaged up the full, you know, the full benefits package, etc., we were able to kind of convince agency workers that actually you're probably better off in the long term coming onto, you know, a permanent contract with things like, as we know, the annual leave, you get paid if you unfortunately are off sick, etc., as well as all the kind of learning and development opportunities. You know, there are roles sometimes that are advertised internally, and they may be for specific actual employed staff. That's not all roles, but sometimes there are situations like that. So it was just opportunities for development, the actual whole package, and just, you know, packaging that and selling that as the kind of hook, if you like. And also, you know, the culture at Sutton, you know, talking about some of the things we do in terms of the staff networks and all the other things that agency workers could be involved in if they were to be directly employed by the council. And for most people, as I said, some of them have worked here for a while, some not as long, but already the feeling, the vibe they got from being here, feeling a sense of belonging, that kind of relational piece, you know, welcoming agency workers sort of from day one and making them feel a part of the organisation, I do believe that helped as well.
Brilliant.
So I hope that answers the question.
No, I think it does. No, that's really helpful. Thank you. Question for Stockport. Did you have your video produced by an external company or did you do it in-house?
I think it was an external company, wasn't it?
It was an external company, yes. It was a local company though.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions at this stage, or shall we draw this all to a close? I'll just give it a couple of seconds in case anyone else wants to type anything in. It's so much different doing this remotely than having it in a room. But in which case, if there's nothing more forthcoming, thank you very much, Andrea, Laura, and Jenny from Stockport. Thank you very much, Dawn, from Sutton, for your wise words and the presentations. Really useful stuff. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much to everyone for dropping by today and hosting or attending. And yeah, thank you so much. Jenny's put a link in the chat for the video, so feel free to click that. I think it's on YouTube. And yeah, brilliant. Thanks for your time today, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks, everyone.